Hey guys, I kind of wanted to talk about my weight loss journey. I've always battled weight um, from when I was maybe 6 years old. I was kind of a chunky kid. Um, and I think I remember kind of dieting maybe as early as age 12. And, um, and then again, when I hit maybe 18, and a lot of those times I didn't necessarily diet the right way. Um, in fact, I hate the word diet. Diet. It has the word die in it. You get it? Um, so, and I feel like diet is associated with um, deprivation, solely about losing overall weight. And so I lost weight, and then you know I I had gotten married and had a kid, and even before I had a kid, like, I gained a lot of weight back. Just like, it just seems like every single time I've gotten into like a relationship, I kind of gain weight. Um, but like, I'm talking about, like, I'm 5 feet tall, or I start off as 5 feet tall, and by the end of the day, I swear I shrink to like 4'11" and a half. And for me to be like 170 plus pounds at my highest, which, by the way, I don't even know what my highest truly is because after I reached 168 on the scale that I physically saw, I was scared. And I knew I gained weight from the 169, so 168. I don't know how much, to be honest, because I refused to step on the scale. I know my clothes got tighter by a lot. So, like, honestly, I couldn't even say exactly how much I weighed. I was, in a bad spot. Not only that, I went to like a regular doctor's visit, and they told me that my blood pressure was 198/98. I was urged to go to the emergency room. I pleaded and pleaded with my doctor. I did not want to go to the emergency room. After some pleading, he made me promise that he was going to send a script to my pharmacy, and I was going to pick it up, and I was going to take one immediately, and I was going to take it every morning for the blood pressure. And he told me I needed to lose weight. He told me I needed to walk. I needed to be more active. And, all that stuff. I didn't know exactly how much. But then when COVID came, everyone's locked in their houses. This was like March 2020. I felt like I was starting to gain even more weight. like honestly, I definitely felt like I was gaining weight. But I remember that, like, just thinking there was something I had to do. Like, I was just going to get more active. So during COVID, I started doing exercise. Like, it was like to YouTube videos, and then I started hiking because you were allowed to go hiking outside. And since it was March, maybe it waited a little bit longer, but like when the weather got nicer, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go on hikes. So I started walking and hiking, and doing these YouTube exercise videos. And I think most of them were kind of like Pilates related or something like that. Cardio or Pilates related, a combination of the two. Um, so I started losing weight. I downloaded a calorie tracker app. I started putting I started putting my calories in there, using um, their questions and my answers to, how many calories I should be eating. Um, I remember at first it was hard because I'm like, my God, I already reached all my calories and it's like 5 p.m. and I'm like, no dinner. I'm hungry. This sucks. Um, but the problem was I didn't really think about macros at all. So I think that was a problem. So I'm just like learning as I go. And then, like a couple years later, I got an office job, and it was not exactly return to work, but like it was hybrid days. Um, so, I mean, and I had lost like maybe a good 40 pounds or so, but then I started gaining again. So, and I started trying to do things like, oh, at lunch I was gonna walk up and down the stairs to my job or something like that. And then I got laid off. But the month that I got laid off, earlier that month, I joined the gym. Finally joined the gym. Like I found a good one. That's the current gym I go to right now. And I just started going. I just tried like different classes and started really getting more active. And then once I got laid off, I basically had all the time in the world. Not all the time. I mean, I was still applying to jobs and stuff like that, but you can't like 24/7 apply to jobs. Like, so I spent a lot of time going to the gym. So my overall net weight loss from my very highest, of course I've gone up and down, so far is a total of 60 pounds. So I was like 170, I was probably 170 plus. If I had to make a real good guess, let's just say 172. I'm about 112 right now. I lost 60 pounds. So what I've learned from a lot of trial and error is that I can't do intuitive eating. Like, I need to track, because if I don't track, I get off track, if you get what I'm saying here. I don't like being restrictive, exactly. But what I've learned, besides keeping active, not just like once a week or here and there, is to be consistent about it. Of course, if you're sick, you take a break because you're sick. It's hard. I also learned that what nutrition really, really matters. I also learned that the reason why I wasn't feeling full before, like I was hungry by 5 p.m., and, wasn't able to eat dinner actually, was because I was eating my old diet, which was basically mostly carbs and fat. Thinking about the nutrition side and actually adding in that fiber really helped to keep me more full. The fiber and actually the protein. And then now what I'm finding out is that if I keep the meals relatively the same size, the same macros, the same time of the day, it's easier to not just track, but it's also easier to kind of guess at the macros, you know what I mean? So I have like basically the same breakfast most mornings. I have the same lunch most early afternoons. And then I have the same sort of snack, usually around 3 or 4. And then for dinner, I kind of switch it up. So it's almost kind of like, now I'm probably dating myself, But if you remember way back when in the 90s, they had that Slim Fast. It was like a shake for breakfast, a shake for lunch, and then a sensible dinner. That's kind of basically what I'm doing, except for it's not shakes. Like I'm eating like real food. Like I'm not saying that a protein shake isn't good for you, because I definitely have those on the handy, and my snack is actually a protein bar that I have, because it really does help me with the protein and to keep me full a little bit longer so I can make it to dinner. Um, but relatively the same. This way I know, okay, my breakfast is 22 to 24 grams of protein and this many carbs. My lunch is like 28 grams of protein and 510 calories. Uh, and then my snack is 28 grams of protein, 16 grams of carbs, and like 175 calories or something like that. And then dinner, I change dinners because I guess from having breakfast and lunch always being very similar, it gets boring. So now I kind of have to like switch it up a little bit. I had different ones in rotation that I know work for me, that fit into those macros that I'm looking for. And for me, because I'm a little over 100 pounds, I'm like, okay, my minimum's 100 grams of protein and like roughly 140 to 150 grams of carbs to help me keep going at the gym. And so far, it's definitely worked for me to keep it off. And it's just being consistent. I mean, some days, like often is like a Sunday. I don't have like a whole cheat day, but I will do something like, oh, I'm gonna get a blueberry muffin from Starbucks, or like some little kind of extra treat. I'm like, I'm just gonna enjoy it and be happy. But those are roughly the things that I'm doing to keep the weight off. And I'm not sure if it's considered harder or easier for your, like, depending on your age. I didn't really see too much of a difference. Maybe losing weight when I was 18 was way easier, but I also lost it a different way, and I probably lost a lot of muscle as well, because I just did not care about the macros, did not really exercise except for cardio. So I would not recommend that. But me right now, I'm in my late 40s and I'm able to lose weight and to keep it off. But again, I'm also incorporating, fiber, protein, I'm keeping track of all those things. And I think that's really kind of key to track it and to be consistent. So if those are my only two things, I'd say is consistency and tracking, like knowing where you're at.